What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Doc Illuminati, back with another video. So let's talk about this Trump thing and a couple other things. Um, why is it that there's a guy running for office right now that was literally impeached? It's crazy, right? It's almost like we're on the verge of Idiocracy, the movie. And I feel like I said this a little while ago, but there was other people I heard say this too. A lot of people have been saying, as a matter of fact. But I'm like, I recall me being one of the first that thought of that, because it's crazy when the country starts going all the way to the left. It makes you think about that movie if you watched it. You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy because if it doesn't go that way, it's gonna go a different way. That's completely worse than that. Do you see who's up there right now? We got Kamala Harris, aka Demon Activity. You know what I'm saying? Let the games begin. Mrs. Liberate every woman for every freaking thing, for every cause, for every reason, right? And then you have someone who, they're pretty much just a businessman. Like I said, he was impeached before. What was he impeached for? I don't really know. Personal issues ain't really the matter right now. Skip all the characteristics. What is the agenda behind these folks, right? I don't really think Trump has an agenda like that. You know what I'm saying? His agenda is to make money. So more than likely, I feel like he's the type of person that all he's thinking of is how to get America back on its feet. He's not too much concerned about individuals' rights and stuff like that right now. We got more important things um, at hand. So at least I would be able to say we could trust it, even if it was to go to the idea of idiocracy. That would be a whole lot than the person who's going to let Babylon roll in, and it'd be completely nothing but wickedness. So you're dealing with either idiocracy, possibilities of idiocracy, and this is not a possibility of wickedness. We could see these wicked individuals out here trying to vote this thing in office. You understand what I'm saying? So, are we going to come to that point that we can really, see where we're heading and do something about it, maybe? All right. Anyway, just with that being said, I want to move on to the next thing because it has correlation with that. And that's just the preparation of everything. I just want to let you know what I'm thinking right now. What I'm thinking right now is at any given time, these things that are being talked about, right? These possibilities of an economic collapse and this, that, right? Okay, you wouldn't have to worry about tomorrow if you trust in God. But if you're trusting in this system, that means if you're trusting in their fresh produce, if you're trusting in the tractor trailers to keep going up and down the road every day to put stuff in the grocery stores, if you're trusting that one day something catastrophic can happen that can literally either slow down or stop this these this process or any mechanism that's a part of the process, right? They're not worrying about truckers' jobs, but they're talking about AI and this, that, and the third. So they're, you know what I'm saying? It's already, they're already trying to get too much control. So then what's going to happen when you're telling the computers to run everything? And now we're not really being self-sufficient as people. You're telling me that we're getting ready to put everything, even our produce, in the hands of a robot? Nah, I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. And another thing I wanted to say is, they tell you that this and that and the third is healthy out here for you. Oh, go drink coconut water and this, that, and the third, right? Because it's got this and the third in it. Okay, well, if that coconut water has a company on it that ain't been sponsored by the Most High, I ain't trying to fool with it. I don't believe none of that. I'm going to start boiling my own water. I don't care if you go to the store, buy spring water. It's probably a good idea to just boil that too. Because that's a surefire way that if there's anything in there, in the water, that ain't supposed to be in there, it's gone. See what I'm saying? I don't care if you gave me coconut water. I'm burning coconut water too, and it won't be coconut water no more. I don't care about the H3O. I can get H3O out of eating fruits, because plants that produce vegetables and fruits produce a certain amount of water in the fruit, and that's the actual H3O water with the hydrogen in it. You see what I'm saying? So you feed a plant nitrogen, and then it produces water that has hydrogen in it. You see what I mean? So when you're eating those foods, you're getting your H3O water. You're getting that, as well as um, I would say a more cleansed way of water. I would call this water cleansed. You know, you got spring water, you got purified water. I want to call this cleansed because without it coming with a label and a 666 barcode for you to have to purchase it at these stores, and they telling you this, that, and the third, but dog, it still come from a company. It could be a multi-million, multi-billion-dollar industry. You wouldn't know what they doing to the water, what they really putting in it. He says, "Oh look, I believe him because they say it right there, bro." Spare me. If the produce ain't coming from our hands, I'm talking about cooking, butchering, water, even bathing in it. Y'all might have to boil your own bathing water. I'm serious, man. It's almost like if it just might be safer to bathe in the lake right about now because you don't know what they're putting in the water. It's not natural water. When before the water gets into our houses, it's been tampered with fluoride and all kind of other substance. Who said that fluoride is even good for our skin? We don't know. We know it ain't good for your teeth. So if it ain't good for your teeth and your bones, then it ain't really too good to be on the inside of your body for the most part. Whatever it is that's in it is not good for the body. Water is supposed to be an energy conductor. What is fluoride doing to the cells in the water, if the water has cells or whatever, let's say, right? If it's an energy conductor, then it must have something in it that's livable, and I mean live. You understand what I'm saying? It's like whatever they're adding to the water is killing the water. Like the water we supposed to drink is supposed to be alive, right? It makes you feel more life. It makes you live more. You feel life, right? That's what they're saying about the H3O. But why is it that you eat fruits, you eat these healthy things, and then you feel better? Well, it's very much because of the fact that that H3O was in there and other key elements that the body needs, like the parts of the nutrition. Like I said, some things produce hydrogen and hydrogen in the water, but then you get some vitamin D and all your vitamins and stuff like that you're getting from your vegetables and your fruits and stuff like that. So for a family of four, I'm thinking about chickens, right? How many chickens? I know, sounds crazy, right? But you ain't going to just live off of bread, food, and vegetables, are you? I want to tell you how to make the bread too, because these may be the times. But before those times, I'm trying to allow people to prepare themselves to stay, at least, if you can, with at least 2 to 3 months of food supply. 2 months of food supply, normal food, and then 1 month of like rice, and if the apocalypse was to happen and I had to survive off of whatever pancake mix or what, it wouldn't matter, right? Keep 1 month supply of that and 2 months of regular stuff, right? Why? Because the moment that anything happens, the best thing that you're going to want to do is get more supply of stored canned goods. If you can get to the grocery store in time. Y'all don't know how they going to choose to do this thing. See, what we got to follow is what the prophecy says. The prophecy says, see, we can't assume anything, but what we want to do is we want to account for many more things, right? So the Bible says that 1/3 of them is going to starve from famine and pestilence. Well, that's a lot of people starving. Anybody want to ask the question why? Obviously, it's no food, right? Right? But why? Why is there no food? How? How is people starving on a planet that produces food? Right? How? Because of the time that it's needed, and the people was not prepared for that time. Now imagine everything just go clean slate. You try to run out to the grocery store by tomorrow, everything's gone. Everybody looted everything done. They ain't running no more trucks to the store. What the hell are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You gonna ask people for food? Ain't nobody giving away food at this time, right? Ain't nobody gonna sell food at this time. Because as far as we know, when it comes to a time that people have to loot the store for food, money's not going to be the situation. See what I'm saying? So therefore, what are you going to have as far as goods to trade to even getting you a bite to eat? Because that's probably going to be, for the most part, somebody even going to be willing to offer you at those times. See, this is why I was learning how to make wheat bread, potato bread. I know how to make it from straight wheat. And I learned on YouTube. Y'all want to be on YouTube and you want to use social media, you better utilize it to educating yourself on how the hell you can live self-sufficient. You better use these last days of this internet, even though it's going to be some time. I feel. Why? Because their witchcraft relies on that system. It does. So we don't know how long they're going to be putting in play, but whenever they decide to pull the carpet from underneath the feet, and this just may not be here. As far as we concerned, social media can still be here before food. Like, food would run out before social media. Why? Because you would see people being able to starve. You think that, see, somebody said the revolution won't be televised. Yeah, they want it to be televised. Why? Because they want you to panic and fear that people are starving around you and going crazy. You see what I'm saying? That's why I'm saying, and the news going to be wanting to report. They run their mouth so much. Why are we supposed to be missing anything? Why are they supposed to just duck and hide somewhere and just poof, be gone? No, this whole thing is a setup. And I got a strong feeling they're going to want you to watch to the very end. And that's when the lights go out, by the way. But they're going to watch it like the games as they pull and watch the Hunger Games. So people are going to be able to watch, right? That's what I'm saying. You still want to have rich, poor, or wealthy, unwealthy. You understand what I'm saying? The thing is, you want to have the preparation system to prepare yourself. Second Amendment rights, this, that, and the third. By that time, all bet is off the table. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing on the table. The Constitution just fell, along with Babylon. So Second Amendment rights really applies to anybody. You know what I'm saying? So the most part you don't want to have to do is be in search for food. We don't care if they turn off social media. We don't care if they turn off the lights. We don't care if they turn off the water. Anybody can go to the lake, bro. Go buy some boiled water and something. You know what I'm saying? They turn all that off. I will go find my hot water heater and chop that thing out and use that thing in the backyard boiling the water. You understand? Get plenty of matches right now. So you ain't got to go back to this. If y'all can somehow get your hands on 1,000, 2,000 matches and some, they got these little brittle things that they're burnable things and they stay burning for 20 minutes to get a fire starter. They're called fire starters. Get you some of those. Just in case there's windy days or, you know what I'm saying? And you got to come up with the ideas that, weather conditions. You got to think about weather conditions, trying to do the plant thing and the food thing, this, that, and the third. We're not in a tropical area where it's heat all the time around. We're in an area where certain plants catch frost. That's it for your vegetables. How are you going to keep them warm? What are you going to eat then through the winter months? What will you have saved up? Do you have enough power, just in case you shut off electricity, to run a freezer for a whole 3 months, 4 months? Huh? No. So my suggestion would be to having a lot of canned goods that are stored. Canned goods you can store for up to about a year. If you get those ones that have meat in it, because you never know, the first thing that you're going to want to be certain to survive off of is the food that's coming out of the freezer. Why? Because you may get more stuff and replace it in there, or one day it could just be nothing else in there. You know what I'm saying? Now you could have been eating, or whatever the fact is. But I'm just trying to put a lot of things out there that I've been thinking about. All right. So what else? Flour. If you don't know how to make the wheat, right? What are the chances that, boom, something happens? Where the hell are you gonna find a wheat farm? Maybe you can find one, but where are you going to find one at? Then, if you do you know how to make it? Do you know how to get the seeds out of the little wheat things? You got to shake them up to all the seeds, and you got to spread the seeds from the shells. And that's it. That's how you do that, right? They shake them out of the tops, right? Put them in the bag. They crush them up with stuff. You know what I'm saying? They pound on it with stuff, and then they smack the bag on stuff and let the seeds fall out. You don't want to crush the seeds, because the seeds, well, you want to crush the seeds at the end, but you want to crush them after you separate them from the shells and everything else. So you're shaking it and you pounding the bag of all the wheat stuff, and then you take a handful, you got a fan blowing, and then you drop the seeds, and whatever blows in the wind is the access stuff, and the seeds drop in the basket. Then you take the next handful and do the same thing again. You got a fan blowing, you pour it, you let the seeds drop, bam. Once you got all the seeds in the bucket, you crush them up. You crush them up so good, and that's just flour. That's pure, strictly flour, and that's it. And that's how you make bread with it. So then how you make bread is you want 3 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of yeast, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. And then you can add 1 to 1/3 cup of either water or milk. See what I'm saying? And then you mix all that up and you make your dough. And then you form it into the ball. You put it in a bread baking joint, and then you bake it. Well, you don't do that first. You got to let it rise, right? So you want to let it rise for an hour. You want to cover it after you roll it up and all that, and you don't put your recipe together, because see, the yeast is still active and it's starting to rise as no matter what you're doing. If you got it in room temperature, it starts to rise. So you put it in this little bowl thing. You put a plastic thing over top of it, and then you come back to it an hour later. Hour later, it's pretty much more full. You can see that the yeast built up. So then you take that yeast, you roll it up some more, and then you shape it. You shape it into the bread thing. Then you put it into the bread thing, right? Before the bake. You put the thing over top of it again. Then you let it sit again for another hour to 2 hours and let it rise again. This time you might want to put it on just in a little more heated area so it can rise. Not too hot, but like you turn your oven on for 350, let it reach 350, and then turn it off. And then open it up for about 30 seconds because it's still hot in there. And then you want to put that in there, and then you want to sit it in there for I think it was about maybe about 15 minutes or so. But you want to get it to it rises enough before you bake it. So when you feel like it's ready, and you looking on it and it's rising, you know where it's at. Because if it comes straight to the top of that thing, once you bake it, it's coming out of there. But you want it to rise for 2 hours basically as dough. So you're gonna let it rise the first time after you make it. You're gonna put it in then you're gonna shape it and put it in the bread loaf thing. You feel me? The baking loaf bread thing. And then you're gonna let it rise in there for an hour. And then you're gonna turn the oven on to 350. And then you're gonna put it in the oven at 350 for 40 minutes. And then bing, you got bread. Now, you can go on Amazon, you can buy 5 pound of bag of flour, right? For $2.50. Every 5 pound bag of flour, you can make 7 to 8 loaves of bread. You see what I'm saying? For $2.50. The yeast was like 5 pounds of yeast or something. No, it was like 2 pounds of yeast was like, it was like $8, $6. The sea salt was like $5 or $3 for like, you see what I'm saying? Remember, you're only using a teaspoon, not even a tablespoon, 1 teaspoon of sea salt. See what I'm saying? That's light. You can get so many, you can make, I don't know how much out of that. You see what I'm saying? So how many loaves of bread are you going to want for a year's worth, right? Get you some flour. You ain't got to worry about bread. 8 loaves of bread will last you 2 months. That's 2 loaves a week. Or, yeah. See what I'm saying? So 1 loaf a week will last you 2 months. So that's 1 bag of flour can last 2 months of 1 loaf per week. That's just 1 bag. The bag costs $2.50 for the flour. You spend $20, you get you 10 of them, $25. Dog, that'll last you a year. That's your bread. That's your bread. Worst come to worst, you can live off bread. Now also, let me tell you what you can make out of it. Honey buns, cinnabuns, pancakes, waffles, bread, potato bread, pizzas, danishes, a lot of things. You see what I mean? Now you get your powdered sugar, cheap as hell, powdered sugar. You can also make pretzels, funnel cakes, bruh, you name it. You actually eating good off this bread. That's the idea of saving you while you got time a whole year to go look for a wheat farm. For all that time, you can plant a wheat farm. See what I mean? Now that's just the bread. Now let's move on to the chickens. We want to talk about the garden last. Say the best for last. I like that part. Because I don't have the chickens yet. But I'm getting ready to buy the chickens. For a family of 4, you're going to need 22 chickens. You're going to need 22 chickens, I believe, every other month. Because see, you can chop the chickens within about, I think it was like 60 days or something like that. So you want to keep, say, 11 at a month old and 11 at 2 months old and maybe even another 11, depending on how much, you know what I'm saying? But the idea is, with the chickens, you don't have to buy any more chickens. See, these chickens, they do a lot of clucking. You know what I'm saying? Not only are they popping out other chickens, they made you and your whole block eggs forever, for free. So not only do you got chickens, you got eggs. See what I'm saying? Now, the chicken, one chicken will last a family. You could cut a chicken at 4, and that's a pretty hefty meal. It's a pretty hefty meal. That's just dinner though. You feel me? You utilizing the bread for pancakes or whatever for breakfast. Remember, we different eating now. We eating and surviving off of fruit and live things for the most part. Water is an energy conductor. The right water is, it's like Nas in the car that take Nas. You feel me? So you'll be able to survive off of fruit, vegetables, and some bread. That could literally be, can make some pita and a couple of pieces of fruit for breakfast. Strawberries, mashed strawberries. Strawberries grow fast as hell. You like strawberries? Get you some strawberries. Do not do what I did and mess some strawberries up and over nutrient them. I put too many nutrients in my strawberries and now I messed them up. I was pissed. But guess what? I'm glad I'm pissed now than later. So, I'm getting new strawberries and I'm pretty sure I'm never going to mess them up ever again. I'm never going to over nutrient anything. I'm not going to over fertilize. Don't over fertilize your crops because you will kill them. Okay? Then you're gonna be pissed because you gotta wait a whole nother month to a month and a half for them to reproduce, to get their stalk back and to produce the right way again. For my strawberries, it ain't turn out too well. You see what I'm saying? So I have to redo the process again when it comes to those. But I wanted to say that because if you really like strawberries, it ain't gonna hurt you to have a diet of strawberries because they produce very fast. Very fast. It's good enough that, I mean, you got to think of it as an investment. How much are you willing to spend right now to take care of your breakfast for the rest of your life? How much are you willing to spend right now to take care of your dinner for the rest of your life? These things is put together in these plants. 4 chickens, 4 baby chicks cost $15 for 4. It takes, in 75 days tops, I think that's their full growth or something. I think you can cut them by like 62 months or something like that, right? That's no time, really. All you got to do is feed the chickens. You just got to feed the chickens. And you know what I'm saying? So you're still buying chicken food and stuff like that. But see, you can find food that chickens already eat, natural things. And you can find these things and you can feed them those things naturally. And so with that being said, I'm going to do me a chicken house. How else I'm going to do it? You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do it now because, first of all, regardless of if there's some type of collapse or structure, whatever that might take place, man, I don't let people sit here and talk a whole bunch of bad luck, and then I'm not going to sit here and prepare about it while these niggas just talk bad luck in the atmosphere. You know, it ain't going to happen to me, Captain. I'm going to have my chickens. But until then, I know that my freezer will be stocked with 2 months worth of food. Why? Because worst come to worst, something happens tonight. Where the hell you gonna find chickens at tomorrow? Hmm? That you can get them and already got your own clucking ring. Making your eggs for breakfast. Remember, see, we got eggs now, strawberries, and pita bread. Look like we're gonna be eating good, yo. Facts. Cause I'm already going down to this plan right now. In 3 months from now, 90 days, I do not want to eat nor drink another thing from their fucking system. I'm done. 3 months from now. That's not even really a press. Right now, I can still buy chickens from a store, cuz. You feel me? In some time, it ain't gonna be stores open. Or possibilities, right? But I would prefer to be ready now. Because say, even in 6 months, and people sitting back laughing at me, like, oh, remember last year you bought all those chickens because you thought da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, and so what? I've been eating free breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day for the last 3 months. It's going on 6 months now. How much you spent? How sick are you? You don't even know. You don't even know. At least I know I ain't hungry. I ain't gonna need for nothing regardless of what's up or down. And ain't nobody killing me. That's trustworthy to me. That's trustworthy. That's what I wanted to talk about. But that's why we got into the whole Trump thing, this, that, and the third. And, you know, if we were moving to either one of these worlds, what world do you want to decide to live in? The Bible already said, come out of Babylon, my people. My people, come out of her. You don't know why? Because you ain't going to survive there. They're making it to, there's no way you're going to be able to survive Babylon. It's not going to be a way. Just think about it. The only way that you can get crushed in a game of Monopoly is if you playing Monopoly. Well, what if I was playing a game of life? They want you to play Monopoly, Jeopardy, and all these other hazardous type of functions that's going on. I was just trying to play the game of life. As long as I'm just playing a game of life, I'm going to live, damn it. And nobody can jeopardize me, monopolize me, or any of that inflatable, you understand what I'm saying? So, and mind you, I'm a businessman. That means I know how to think smart and I know how to cut costs. But I also know one thing. When it's time to change businesses, and for what reasons, and what comes out to be more value, money or self-reliant, self-sufficient system that I can put in place any given time I want. You see how lazy homeless people are? Is it that they don't have the means to find seeds? Because they damn for sure sleep in the places you can grow that shit. Why are they hungry? We're living on a land that can feed us. Can feed us. Why are they hungry? Why isn't it a garden in every single backyard in America? I don't care if you live in the city. Why is there not at least a garden? We got backyards to have fun in. No, we're supposed to have backyards to produce for us. That is our field. When it says go out in the field and work, the field behind your house, in your yard. What do you gotta do? I gotta water the tomatoes. I gotta water the whatever it is we gotta eat. I gotta put more fertilizer down. Right? I gotta constantly pick out all the dead leaves, and I gotta make sure that everything is in the cages, and you know what I'm saying? These things take maintenance, dog. Maintenance. If we as men, we built these things and we leave the women to maintain them. Maintain them. See, we already created our own jobs. We are. What do we need money for at this point? Unless people trying to watch TV and you still got to buy cable and all this, that, and the third. Right. I'm going to show people how to transition. Let's say hybrid certain things. Why? Because in the transition period, you kind of have to be hybrid mentality. Like right now, I still know how to make money in this system, but I still got to learn how to build and become self-sufficient in this system as well. And I will do both things until one gives. But I'm going to do both things because one's automatically going to be beneficial for me regardless. So I'm not losing anything here. I'm preparing. I'm not losing anything. And as a matter of fact, because of that same reason, I am now gaining because I'm still in the transition effect. So I'm still making money over it. See what I mean? But now I'm making money over it and saving money because I'm not spending money on this. Because now I realize I don't need as much and I've become more self-sufficient. So now I'm able to save more and do more. See what I'm saying? Once you got these things already in function and already in operation, well, they become mandatory and then you build upon these things. One family coming meeting me and knowing none of this stuff, and I take this and I present this to them and now they're doing it. You know how fast that's going to run down the street? In about 2 months, the whole neighborhood is going to be clocking like cake work. We got a whole factory going on out this joint, man. You feel me? But somebody got to start passing the memo along. And the best bet that you could do is do it in the community that you're in now. Whether you got to create a web page, website, whatever, and say, if these things happen, I'm going to need address number 32 to plant turnips. I'm going to need address number 33 to plant green peppers. I'm going to need the address 33 to plant lettuce. You guys got the biggest yards. This shit turns over every 30 days. We might need 2 or 3 of these houses in here. With all these houses in here, we could turn this whole bitch into a farm. Give up your backyard. We going into an economic depression. How many of y'all is not surviving well in this depression? How many of y'all the water's up to your nose like this? Oh, 80% of y'all. Okay, 80% of y'all sign up here. We do our meetings on the online where you can check in and say, okay, I'm Valerie from da 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 da. I would like to pitch in da 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 da. Do we have the guys that come out and plant the seeds for us? Yes, you do. Who gonna do it? Me and my team. Y'all don't even gotta do the work. We just want to make sure that we put it in there and then y'all maintain it. Maintain it. Other than that, it's built for the weather to maintain it. But if they ain't maintaining it, then we're gonna have some problems. But that's why it's gonna have to be 2 people doing everything because we might have to take this person off and add another person to it because they're out of the loop now because they didn't maintain what they were supposed to maintain. So now they can't access none of the rest, bro. Like, why did you not put in your part, bro? That's your job for you to eat. Just like if you don't work out here, you don't work, you don't get paid. So if you don't maintain that, that's all you're going to be eating. And it's unmaintainable. So now where's your look? Y'all niggas going to need this system put in place. Why? Because not near one of us can grow everything we're going to want to eat every day. But if one of us grow everything, like I grow all strawberries in my backyard, nothing but strawberries, dog, I got strawberries that can feed the whole neighborhood. It's for their appetite worth. We ain't worrying about the next neighborhood. Let the next neighborhood take care of them. Or if we need more people, if you want to grow a few of your own strawberries because you love them that much and you got a high appetite for them, then you're growing all this. And then inside in your own personal section, you're growing your personal joints too. But we need a community section out of the backyards. At least 50% of your backyard. We need that right now. If not the whole thing. We don't know yet. You see what I'm saying? So all we need is who gonna have the chickens? See what I'm saying? Otherwise, how are we gonna get chickens around this mug, bro? Who gonna have the lettuce? Who gonna have the green peppers? Cause I'm not gonna have the chickens, green peppers, lettuce, and everything. I don't got that much space to do all that. To have an enormous amount of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't think you get what I'm saying. You need one spot to be able to do effective, efficient production, a quick production. If you're trying to do everything in one dog, you're not producing as much of these things. So I see like between my yard, like, man, how many different foods is that everybody eat? We got all these houses out here. If you break it down, 400 some houses, then divided by this, dog, it's only about 10 top foods we eat. And it's like 5 foods that everybody know they can eat. Fruits, vegetables. If you can't eat a salad, something wrong with you. Then you don't even need to be a part of this plan because I don't know what we can do for you. You still want this, that, and the third, dog. We trying to figure out how to live off the land, what the land can produce. We got a little couple chickens. Them chickens do cluck, 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 cluck. I build a hatch that gets so big. Now I got to ask the next neighbor, hey, look, you willing to take on some chickens in the chicken section? You getting free chicken. Doing this, by the way. You feel what I'm saying? So now you ain't got to trade out as much to get chicken for your family. Y'all can eat twice as much chicken if you want. See? Feel me? Or unless you ain't got a personal stash, you wish you had a personal stash to do your chicken, but you already got it for your turnips and that and the third. But hey, guess what? I got more chickens. I could just send them off to you. You feel what I'm saying? We're gonna need a butcher. We're gonna need a butcher, and that's why I said, if you can, I feel like, like I said, it's only that much food that we eat, right? 10 different things. All you need is 10 people. One person grow this, one person grow that, one person grow that. Guess what? If we start doing that, all the other people will be out of the loop who didn't want to join. But as long as you got 10 people, 10 people can feed 10 people families, dog. We gonna walk down the block. This nigga got a whole backyard full of chickens. This cat can feed all of us every single day. It's only 10 families. He got 400 chickens running around the yard. 400. Mind you, his job is not gonna, if we're all working together, well, who out there collecting the chicken food? The young kids. That's their jobs. It only took all the kids in the neighborhood or the 10 people, it took all their kids every bit of 2 hours tops to collect that. And if they didn't do it, the men could easily do it. But everybody, in order to work self-sufficient in a community, everybody must be working. That means the kids too, man. The kids too. I'll say, oh, we're not gonna take their child. What childhood? Their childhood is learning fucking life and agriculture and shit. It ain't what they was learning before. It ain't really like playing with these toys all day. And remember, it ain't toys no more. It's social media and video games. That's not what being self-sufficient is going to be relying on. How much entertainment you can get from things that you can't access with your hands that can benefit you. So let's just to say we're in this type of community. A lot of those things are going to not be a necessity. They're going to be anti-necessity. Like, we don't need you distracted from your job. We don't need those distractions. We trying to live, right? Right. All right. A man, all we got to do is go out there and build for 4 hours of the day, every day. 4 to 6 hours tops. Ain't no longer working no 10 hours, 12-hour days, dog. No. 4 hours. That's all we need, man. And we could take off 3 days out of the week. Because what are you doing for 4 hours besides building, right? But you build up your own, and you don't got to build no more, then what? Now you building for this person, getting extra stuff for your joint. Didn't y'all do first grade before when y'all went to school with the baked cookies and you did your whole trading thing? That had nothing to do with money. We came up with fake money and still somehow was able to trade and do all this stuff, right? And we utilized our own system. We did that in the very first grade we was in, and we knew exactly what we were doing. But people act like they don't know what to do now. Dog, we got big boy stuff that we can be utilizing right now while we still have their system. Let's extract from the Babylonian system and utilize things to set up our off-grid living space. How are we going to be off-grid? Most people don't know it, but they're going to be living off-grid right in the homes that they quote-unquote lost. When the banks go down, where everybody at? You think they're going to kick everybody? They're going to evict everybody. Everybody's going to be homeless outside and the homes are going to be fucking vacant. No, nigga. People going to be in the houses. And guess what else? They're going to keep the electricity on, like I told you. In order for your phones and everything else to be on, you need to charge, dog. They want to keep feeding you the witchcraft off CNN and all that. So you're going to keep the electric's going to be on for a minute. And it just might be free. Just saying. What else are they going to do if nobody got money? They're going to keep people alive somehow. They're going to keep the electric on. Now, what are they going to compensate these people who run into the electric companies? Because, you know, it still requires maintenance there. Well, volunteers. Volunteers for anybody who's willing to work and learn that shit to keep shit going. I'll volunteer. This is one of the things that we got to do. And I only got to put in 2 hours worth of work a day. I'll help keep the damn lights on. I'll help. You ain't paying me nothing. That's my electric. That's my electric. However many times you're going to work me through the week, it shouldn't even be that many. Because you should have plenty of men. Plenty. You should have every man that should be willing to put in this idea. Now, how much are you going to work for the water? Exactly. See what I'm saying? Another 2 hours. We work for electric. We work for water. And upper right, maybe gas. Those are the only three bills that we should ever even be paying. But that should come out of our work ethics, out of our energy. Because there is no mortgage. No mortgage. So we work for gas, we put in our time, and maybe not even that much a week, maybe 3 days. It's not even gonna be that. If you got everybody working for just that, and we all living back self-sufficient, and ain't we're relying on having to go to work for Acme and Food Line and all these other places because you're dealing with food. Nah, we could do this too easy, yo. We could do this way too easy. And we'll all work less. Half as less. And we will be living so much more. That part. Because the less you working, the more you able to live. The more life it is you able to enjoy. I'm telling you. You can now go travel and see things. You can have a horse and go places on your horse. It's always violence in the world. But that's why before we get to becoming a community and able to, tie our hands with the next fellow kindreds, we got to go to war, bro. We got to. There's no other way that we're going to clean this planet up. Otherwise, it's going to go to shit anyway. But who's going to cause it to go that way? The people that I'm telling you we need to go to war with. We can't do nothing with them here on this planet. They're going to keep poisoning shit. The snake. How many times you going to let the snake come slithering his head through the garden and into your house before you just chop his damn head off, man? Then you ain't got to worry about the snake slithering ass doing nothing. When we going to go for the head? That's when we start using ours. Then maybe we can understand what heads to go for. Because we're never going to be able to live peacefully in a self-sufficient environment if we don't get rid of these wicked ones. It's the only way. How dare us want to build in their face just so they can have just that much fuel to come and want to tear it down? How about tearing them down first and then build? How about building off of a clean structure, right? It's almost like trying to build in the midst of the real wilderness where the goons and the goblins and no. God called us to be set apart. Set apart. So what does that mean? That means wait until Babylon falls, dog, before prepare to go into the falling, because you don't know how fast it's going to fall. So that's why the preparation is top key right now. Understanding what you need to prepare for, what the most important things are and the priorities. I told you right now, food. I don't care if you got to walk around this earth for 2 weeks ass stinking. Make sure you eat and you drink water. Clean, boiled water. Because worse can to worse, you can last 2 weeks without food. You're going to be hungry as a mug, but you can still last drinking water. Somebody like me, I'm crazy, but I'll eat grass, dog. Because I did when I was a kid before. I just feel like no green thing is bad to me, so I can eat it. I'm dead serious. I'll eat green leaves, all type of stuff, whatever. I know it may not be food for us or whatever, but I'm telling you, I can figure out how to. I can boil some leaves, bro. Yeah, you put some seasoning on leaves, y'all be like, why we ain't never been eating this in the first place? This is just like lettuce and the rest of that shit. This ain't nobody telling you that. I'm telling you, but I'm just saying, dog. I'm just saying. I mess around, eat the whole plant. I'm one of them. I'm a green eater, so it's not gonna be hard for me to find food, if you know what I mean, dog. And I love greens. Everything tastes like collard greens to me if you boil it. You feel me? I'm just saying, bro. If you really, 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 really think about it, don't eat that collard green and eat it before you boil it. And you tell me what it tastes like. It's gonna taste like a damn leaf, a plant, just as close. I don't know who idea was, maybe because they're bigger or whatever the deal is, but go ahead and take a bite of it without cooking it. Because I did. Like I said, it tastes like a plant to me. I feel like I could just eat it just like that too. Maybe not. It's not good, but I feel like that. I'm on some real tight time. So, food is going to be your number one priority to look for in any circumstance of catastrophic event that takes place. You want to be at the grocery store in about 5, 4, 3, something like that. And don't worry about you having to pay. This is gonna be the last day. They're gonna be looking for any faces for any reason right now. You don't want to wait to hear that they looting the grocery store up the street while they're still trying to act civilized at this one around here. Nah, fuck that. How much money you got? You know what's going on. You need 2 months worth of food. Nobody told you that you seen the apocalypse going on and you ran out there to get your day, a couple of days worth of food. Only a fool would do something stupid like that. Whether you got the money or not, they don't need to pay for nothing. Your objective is to get that food and get it back to the house as soon as possible. As soon as possible. You never know what might take place. This may happen to some of you people. You may be in a grocery store at this time. And you might have just spent $400 on groceries. And then boom, here comes looters running, ransack the store. All of a sudden, half hour later, it's on the news, and you find out the whole place just got wiped out. You were one of the last people that just spent your last dollar even. You're going to be pissed. Because, see, people know what to do with food when it's an emergency circumstance. See what I mean? So, be smart. Be wise. Get yourself some rice. Keep the flour because these things can go on long. Get yourself some chickens. 4 for $15. 4 for $15. $45 to get you 12 chickens. Before the month is up, within so many months, right? Before you go to whack the other chickens or whatever, you're going to realize your other chickens procreated more chickens, and they don't come out by the 1 or 2. They're coming out like 6 to the dozen or something like that. You see what I mean? Like, what? Hold up. This joint just dropped more babies, actually. And guess what? Got to take care of all of them, no matter what they doing, whatever the progress and produce that they do. Because you're gonna be depending on the clucking. Your chicken's clucking. You see what I'm saying? And chickens love to cluck. So you're gonna be dependent on that as your process. Then therefore, if they're processing more, then you can start taking the baby chickens and giving them to some other person to raise or whatever for their next couple of months or their start. You see what I mean? I could literally start a community of chickens just by getting started right now. Anything happens, I'm going to be the only nigga in this neighborhood with real live chickens. Don't say I didn't tell you so. Till next time, it's your boy Don Illuminati. Peace and love.